Mr. Chairman, when we talked to you 3 weeks ago, you laid out your vision on an Obamacare alternative, or the beginnings of one, and you did it. You managed to win over all but one member of the Republican Senate majority, but you couldn't get to that 60-vote threshold. Democrats didn't come across. Now the action moves over to the House. The House package, as I read it, does share elements of your proposal, but it has a few additions. What's your top line? What do you think?
We have to address affordability in the insurance market. And I want to make the point over and over. It's not just the cost of the premium. For most people, it is the out-of-pocket. If you have a $6,000 out-of-pocket you've got to cover before the insurance kicks in, you don't really have insurance. And the money that the government is sending going to insurance companies is for their profit, but not for the patient's protection. And I say that as a doctor who had to work with patients struggling. I can't afford it, doctor. I'm in my deductible. So I do think Congress needs to act. I think the Senate can still act. And we would act in a way which would put money in the patient's pocket to pay that out of pocket, but also perhaps finding an accommodation on the premium tax credits to address those folks in whom their premiums will be going much higher. So maybe we can still strike a deal. That's what I'm pushing for. That's what I'm hoping for. I think we can.
Okay, so in the House, facing pressure for a discharge petition that would just have a straightforward extension of those subsidies that are expiring. House leaders now sound like they're open to an amendment allowing extending them. If a version like that, if somehow that came together, the House bill plus a short-term extension, if that somehow came across to the Senate, could you support that?
Of course I want to see the details. We've got to address the affordability. Of course, I'm still pushing for the Senate to come up with its own version. Again, a version that addresses that out-of-pocket exposure, which is a much bigger problem than the premiums, but the premiums are a big problem. And so if we can address both, that addresses the affordability. That's what we need to do. And whatever comes across that does that, I will look at seriously and probably could find a way to support.
It sounds to me from what you say like you may agree with something your colleague from North Carolina, Tom Tillis, said. He told reporters, if people think this gives us cover, they're delusional. He said, you know, he voted for your proposal and he said it should be part of the negotiation next year. He said, but basically voters are not going to say to Republicans, well, you had a vote and that's enough. He thinks the pain would just be too great and voters aren't going to buy it. A short-term extension, pathway to Obamacare replacement, is that the way to go?
I can tell you if all you do is a short-term extension of money going, of premium tax credits, and of the $24 billion this year going to insurance companies for that, 20% of it goes for profit and overhead for the insurance company, profit to the insurance company, and you don't address the out-of-pocket, people will not perceive affordability. They will not say, oh my gosh, this is working for me now. No, it won't be working for them now. You got to do something for the patients out of pocket. You got to do both. You got to address the out of pocket, the bigger issue, but also address, again, another big issue, which is the cost of the premium itself. I think we've got to do both. I think we can do both. And I don't, and the old axiom, Chris, good policy is good politics. Let's not have a Republican plan or a Democratic plan. Let's have an American plan. If we address it, I don't care who gets the credit. Let's just take care of the affordability issue for the enrollee in Obamacare and do it for the out-of-pocket as well as the premium.
Okay, so the conventional wisdom in this town, and you know how that goes, is that as the deadline gets closer, the number of Republican defections to a straight extension of the subsidies without doing something like you're talking about is going to go up. Do you need President Trump to jump in here and try to enforce a little party discipline, get Republicans behind something?
I don't think the problem was with Republicans. I had every Republican but one vote to put money in a patient's pocket for the out-of-pocket. The problem are Democrats. We need them to acknowledge that that $6,000 deductible is a huge issue, and that just extending the tax credit gives profit to the insurance company, not protection to the patient. So if we can find a meeting of the mind with Democrats and find common ground on extending the tax credits, then we're doing our job. But my problem's not with Republicans. My problem is with creating that understanding of what true affordability means in the face of a $6,000 deductible, and to do that with Democrats.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.